Hi gorgeous, welcome to episode number 166 with the amazing Powerhouse Connector Lisa Patrick, who is back on the show today.
Hi, this is Lisa Patrick and you're listening to Heart Cells podcast with Chrisitne Schlonski. Enjoy.
Well, I can't wait and dive into this conversation with Lisa because we will be learning what a BFD is and why she needed it and how you can have one too. Also, we're going to talk about networking like crazy, how this is going to help you in your business, what it did for Lisa, and how you can get ideas of being a better networker, no matter if you are an introvert or an extrovert, that you really can have fun while networking and having your business thrive. Lisa Patrick is a highly sought after business development specialist and a successful serial entrepreneur. She is known as a Powerhouse Connector and she has an impressive client portfolio of leading influencers, personal expert brands and companies such as Grant Cardone, Tom Hopkins, and Sharon Lechter. So make sure you take some notes and just have fun with us in the next episode. Well, I am so excited to have you back, Lisa, and thank you so much for joining again.
Well, again, thank you for the opportunity, Chrisitne.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So you have a book coming out. We're going to talk about that as well. That sounds amazing. And probably need to pre-order soon. And then also you kind of finished our last interview with something that was so interesting. So where can people find you?
So they can find me at lisapatrick.ca or using my social media handle at Lisa Patrick BFD.
So now everybody's wondering since the last episode what BFD might stand for.
Yes. So I have a little story to tell you. So several years ago, I was sitting in a restaurant with two lovely ladies and we were talking about education. And one of the ladies had her doctorate in chemical engineering, and the other one was a CPA with a master's and working on her PhD and so forth. And so then they asked me, what abbreviations do you have behind your name? And so I sat for a moment and I thought about it. Well, BFD, big deal. And we all burst out laughing because I don't have any abbreviations, although I'm educated. I think nobody else knows about me, but I am a BFD in my world. And so that's when the BFD started. So I think that everybody should have BFD as their initials.
Yeah, I love it. And because I've seen, over and over again, I highly value education, and definitely education has helped me to be where I am today. So no excuse about not having an education, but once you can combine what you have learned, like in real life, the street smart with education, you don't need another certificate. If you provide value to the marketplace, you're good.
I think education serves a purpose. Now, I know that if I had a brain surgeon on my head, I would want him to have a very good education.
Yes.
However, I don't know that we need the level of education. We've been taught that, as soon as we graduate from school, we have to go to university or we have to go to college. And, that's old school thinking as far as I'm concerned. Do I believe that we still need an education? Absolutely. I think the way that we consume knowledge is changing and it's rapidly changing. And the fact, I have twin daughters and they're 14 right now, and we're talking about their education and what are they going to do when they graduate and so forth. And, I think today we're so very, very lucky because we have access to all kinds of knowledge. And I think the best knowledge is the world experience knowledge, learning from those experts who've walked and made mistakes and had failures and had success stories. And if we can learn from them, how much faster our career and a fulfilled life we'd have. Yeah. And that's really the purpose behind edge learning is, what are those internal and external skills that accompany when you do have to take a core competency from a post-collegiate? What are those other skills that we can acquire? And we should be always learning, always. Should never stop.
I believe life is about learning. You always, if you don't learn, you don't grow. And if you don't grow, then basically like anything in nature that doesn't grow, like dies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm writing a book right now, and the gentleman that I'm writing the book with is Jim Cathcart, and Jim Cathcart wrote the book called The Acorn Principle, and the Acorn Principle really is about what's the fastest and easiest way to grow, and it really comes from your natural abilities. And when you invest in yourself with your natural abilities, you need to nurture those abilities. And as you nurture them, you grow an acorn, and an oak tree started from an acorn, and it grew into this massive tree. And so, Jim and I are writing about, how to find opportunity, and network like crazy is what the book is called. And that's really where, the more you network, the more opportunity you get, the more you nurture yourself, the better and more fulfilled of a life you're going to have.
Yeah, totally. And it doesn't matter if you're an introvert or an extrovert. It's all about the people in your life. And I think Arnold Schwarzenegger said that. He said there is no such thing like the self-made millionaire.
No.
You always have people supporting you, connecting you, helping you grow. And only from there you can reach that goal.
Yeah. Well, and you imagine when you first graduate from college, or you out of high school, and you don't have a network, and so you are limited in your opportunities because you don't have relationships to build from and grow from and nurture those natural abilities. And the more you network, and that's why we say network like crazy, you're going to have opportunities from those relationships. I mean, that's where all my opportunities have arisen from, is recognizing a gap in a market and having the relationships to fill those gaps and help support clients, as they grow as well.
Yeah, I think that's where the value of the relationship comes from as well. When you really, again, take that look from yourself, like, where are you? And you ask the question, how can I support the other person? How do they need or want to be treated? And you put that focus on them, that's where the magic happens.
I 100% agree. It's funny. I always ask, another question that I always ask when I'm networking or meeting somebody new is, is following your passion great advice or bad advice? And it's a great starter question to ask, because you find out what their passion is. And if you can fuel somebody's passion, you're going to have a long-term client.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. What a great question. I need to write that down.
So, well, it's in my 25 questions, but yes.
Yeah, we gotta put a link in, and as well to your book, so people can pick that up, because networking like crazy, that will give you all the opportunity in life, because you don't do it by yourself, and you're hopefully not stranded on an island all by yourself, not bringing your boat.
With no boat.
If you want to know more, go back to episode 1 with Lisa.
Exactly.
Because I learned something in episode 1. I would bring a boat next time. But, I love nice weather, beach. So I would like to stay at the island for a little bit.
Well, and it's funny because when Jim and I were researching what we were going to write about, I went to Google, like everybody else does. You go to Google.
Yeah.
And so I researched the keywords, how to find opportunity. And then I researched the words network like crazy. And how to find opportunity was searched. Those words were searched 1.9 billion times every 50 seconds on the internet.
Whoa.
That's crazy. Now, that changes, from every 50 seconds, the amount, but not by much. And network like crazy was something like 600 million times every 50 seconds. So clearly those are two problems that people are having to solve.
And clearly the book is gonna be a bestseller.
God, I hope so.
Because
it's been a lot of work.
Two problems, right? Two challenges people have.
Yep. It's been a lot of work. And, Jim is an amazing human being. You have to, if you're listening, please go look at his TEDx, How to Believe in Yourself. And, it's one of the top TEDx episodes or videos, however they say it.
Yeah.
He's an amazing man. He's over in China right now speaking to hundreds of thousands of people about how to believe in themselves. And
I think that's so essential, especially, when you are an entrepreneur, you have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
You have to learn how to believe in yourself, because if you don't do it, your clients are not going to do it. Well, we don't have clients.
I don't know about you, Christine, but it's a challenge every day. Some days I wake up and I don't believe in myself, and I'm, my fears set in, and you get scared, and it doesn't matter how successful you are. Richard Branson gets scared. He talks about his fears, right? But you have to learn a way to, one, I like to say I compartmentalize things, or use your fear as your fuel to push forward. You've got to keep moving forward no matter what. And I mean, you have roadblocks along the way. We all face them. They all have challenges, but you have to find a way to keep moving forward.
Yeah, totally. There's this thing, like, when you move through hell, keep moving.
Exactly. Run.
Like, don't stop. Right. So I think it's one step at a time. And it comes probably back to what you would say, ask better questions, right?
Yeah,
if you wake up that day and you don't feel like you are the strong superwoman, which obviously happens, like, ask yourself a better question, like, what could I do today to get into state, or who could I support that they give me this amazing feedback that's going to pick me up from my pity party.
Absolutely. And, and if you don't know something about yourself, go to your network and ask them. As I was trying to figure out, I'm coming out with my new brand and everything, and I was really trying to hone my message and get a better understanding of how people perceive you, because it's one thing for you to perceive yourself, but it's a completely other when people, and you have to go to the people that are really genuinely going to be honest with you and tell you the truth. Like and that's the only way that you grow and get better. Anyways, you have to really find the courage to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's super important for everything you do, because everything passes at some point, right?
Yes,
you got to grow, because if you don't grow, you don't have those challenges. Well, if you prefer that, that's fine too. But, I think life is about growth, about experiencing, and obviously failure is part of it.
Exactly.
Do I like it? Well, probably not in the moment, but when I look back a couple months later, I probably see what I've learned from it and how it helped me to become that better version of myself.
Yeah. Well, and I always tell my daughters, and like I was saying in our first episode, so if you're just tuning in, I have twin daughters, and I always tell them, if you're not failing, you're not learning. And I expect you to fail. If you don't fail, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And, you're not trying, you're not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. You're not experiencing life if you're not failing. It doesn't matter if you fail. You can fail 1,000 times. It matters what you do next. That's what matters. It's not the failure. It's how do you move forward? How do you make that next step? How do you keep moving? How do you pivot? How do you make the changes necessary? And, how do you work on those strategies to move forward? And it's really important. Failure is failure. And we all experience it. So if you're failing at something right now and you're listening, that's okay. Yeah. Just figure out how to move forward. That's more important.
Yeah, totally. So do you remember, like, one of your biggest failures that has then turned into an opportunity, or something that really supported you along the way?
Yeah, where let me begin. Let me roll out the toilet paper. And how many different failures I've had. I think the biggest thing was finding, I failed in one of my businesses, and learning what could I take from that failure and add value to the clients that I currently had. And when I figured that out, because if you're really good with your clients and you have good relationships with your clients and you're always adding value, you're authentic, and please, if you're listening, be accountable. If you make a mistake in your business, it's okay. The biggest mistake you can make is not admitting that you made the mistake. So admit that you made the mistake, and how are you going to fix it? And how are you going to add value with your client based on that mistake? That's really the golden ticket. I think, early in life, we're taught to be perfect and the white picket fence and don't make any mistakes and, don't fail at things, always be successful. And, one of the things, I have great parents who, were entrepreneurs, and I come from a farm, and I'm an only child. And one of the things that they taught me was be accountable. And when you tell people that you've made mistakes and you admit and you're accountable to them, people will understand and they will work with you. But please, you have to be accountable to those mistakes.
Yeah, that's a huge step. And that's probably something that doesn't come easy.
Well, and it isn't easy, right? I was told, my dad said to me once, if the toughest conversations are the ones that you probably should have.
Yep. That's stuff that doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't. But you're going to feel a lot better afterwards.
Yeah, totally agree. So do you remember what the very first thing was that you ever sold in your life?
I do. I sold truck accessories. RV parts from a wholesaler. That was the very first, and I talk about a crash course in sales. Talk about a crash course and not being icky, sleazy, slimy in a man-dominated world.
Wow.
And I was good at it. I sold a lot of accessories, let me tell you, but I approached it differently. And I think men and women sell differently.
Yeah.
I think we're just as good, but I think we just sell differently. And, that was the very first thing that I ever sold.
Wow. How did it feel when you made that first deal or transaction or exchange?
Great, because it meant I got money, because back in, I'm not going to say how many years ago, but several years ago, I was paid by my sales. That's the only way I was paid. So I had to make sales to live.
Yeah. I think it's such an amazing feeling when you had that first success. And when you really learn that whatever you offered added value to someone, when you understand how the whole sales thing works. So when you went in business for yourself and when you had to kind of have your own products, was that different from the sales perspective?
Oh, so different. So I had a private investigation company, and I had to cold call. Like, as we didn't have the internet. We didn't have a cell phone. Well, we had a cell phone, but it was a flip phone. So it wasn't, you didn't have the internet access. And, you had a phone book, and you looked up people by the phone book. We had internet, but it was snail, that because it was the telephone line, right? And so I had to do cold call sales. And that's where I really learned the art of cold calling. I did knock on a lot of doors and get a lot of no's before I got a yes. And I, again, made a game of it. How many no's can I get today? Because if I got 50 no's, it means I was 51 steps closer to a yes.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, there's an amazing book by Andrea Waltz and her husband, Richard Fenton, Go for No, Yes is the Destination. Or yes is how you get there. So it's good when you make that game and you really challenge yourself, because then you lose the fear around this scary thing that you can't really grasp. And it's, it's rejection, but it's not, they don't reject you as a person.
No,
it's not a fit for whatever you offer at that moment.
Exactly. And that's just such a valuable golden nugget right there. That you said is exactly, you might not have asked the right questions. You might have the right product or the service, but you didn't ask the right questions to figure out whether or not you could accommodate what you have to fit what they need. It's very, very important back to the, and I always say, one of the greatest things that Tom taught me was that it might not be no right now. Or a yes, actually. It might not be a yes. There we go.
Well, so, no means not now for me. That's how I define it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we talked about in the first episode comes in so handy with a follow-up. Yeah.
And, a simple thank you note goes a long way. I just ordered a whole nother stack of thank you notes. In today's day, we get everything via email and electronic and messages and messenger and, goes on and on and on. And not very often, even Christmas cards, it used to be you'd get all these Christmas cards in the mail, and now nobody, I think I might have got 2 Christmas cards last year. So the art of the thank you note in the mail is coming back, because how wonderful it is to go to the mailbox, the old fashioned way, and open it up and get an actual thank you note, handwritten, not electronic.
Yeah, not a bill.
Not a bill. And those even come electronically now. So.
I know. Well, for me, I think it's 50-50. 50 in the actual mail and 50 via email.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's nice to get something else in the mail besides bills.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you.
And a great way to leverage too, because then, you get the thank you note, and I, received a thank you note here just a couple of weeks ago from a good friend and colleague. And anyways, I had sent her some business her way, and it's a great way to say, look, I got a thank you note, hashtag thank you note from @so-and-so, and it's a great way to share on social as well.
Oh yeah, wonderful. That's a great point. So what would be like some parting advice or piece of guidance you want to leave the listeners with?
I think that you have to invest in yourself continually. And the only way that you're going to have a more fulfilled life is if you commit to investing in yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you, whether that's reading 10 minutes a day, listening to a podcast, writing your own novel, whatever it happens to be, it's still investing in yourself. And you have to continually do it consistently every day.
Yeah. So that means you have to take action.
Absolutely. You know what? You can have the best idea in the world, but if you don't execute on it, nobody's going to know about it.
Yeah, totally. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I loved our conversations, and can't wait for your amazing book to come out. I want to send the people to your page, lisapatrick.ca, and all the links, what we talked about, your book, your wonderful questions, everything is going to be in the show notes. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and I'll leave your viewers and your listeners with the parting word of invest in yourself.
Thank you. I hope you had as much fun as I did in this episode with Lisa Patrick, and you know what a BFD is, why you need it, and how you can get your communication onto the next level. I'm very excited about her upcoming book, Network Like Crazy, and I think Lisa taught us why networking is so important in this episode as well, in episode 165. If you want to go deeper, hop on over to christineschlonski.com, find the podcast tab, find these episodes 165, 166. All the links that are leading to Lisa are just one click away, so you can connect. And as soon as the book is out, Network Like Crazy, there will be a link as well, so you can get your personal copy. And I'm looking very much forward to getting this book into my hand. If you are interested in even learning more from Lisa for free, I'm happy to invite you to the Heart-Centered Lead Generation Summit at heartcenteredleadgenerationsummit.com, where you can sign up for a free pass. And Lisa is one of the amazing teachers who is teaching on heart-centered lead generation, how to find your next client with ease, and also all the different tactics and strategies you can apply, from paid to organic to mixed lead generation strategies, as well as partnerships. So hop on over to christineschlonski.com. You will find it there, or just sign up at the heart-centered-lead-generation-summit.com. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you on the next episode. That will be Variety Friday, and the amazing guest for next week is waiting for you to share more knowledge. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this beautiful world, and I'm saying bye for now.